The Sunspire Academy floated high above a twin sun system, its tall towers catching light from both stars. The Academy was not on a planet. It was a space station, built by many alien races together. It was a place where only the best young minds came to learn, to grow, and to serve the greater galaxy. On this day, like most days, everything ran smooth. Cadets trained in the halls. Teachers gave lessons. Robots cleaned floors. But deep inside the main tower, known as the Sunspire, a strange signal had been found. It came from far below the normal levels. So far down, most had forgotten those parts even existed. At the command center, a small group of cadets stood around a glowing screen. Their names were Lila Martinez, Dane Ellis, Cale Threx, and Alex Carter. Lila was from Earth, like Alex. She was smart, fast with her hands, and good at fixing things. She studied xenobiology, the study of alien life forms. Dane was also human. He was into machines and how they worked. He could fix almost anything with just a few tools and a lot of patience. Kyle was not human. He was from a reptilian species known as the Thraxians. Tall, green-skinned, with eyes that saw in heat, he was calm, strong, and trained for battle since he was a child. He was here to learn about strategy and leadership. And then there was Alex Carter. Alex was new to the academy, a transfer student. He had come from another school, one much smaller, less famous. But even though he was new, people already talked about him. Not always in a good way. Some said he was lucky. Others said he was dangerous. Some said he didn't follow rules well. But all agreed. When something went wrong, Alex Carter was usually nearby. Now the four of them stood in front of the central console, looking at the strange energy reading. "It's deep," said Dane, tapping the screen. "Like, really deep. Level 7 and below." "That area has been sealed for over 200 years, said Lila. "Why would anything be active down there?" "Maybe it's just old tech," said Kyle, his voice low and calm. "Left behind after the Void Breach." The Void Breach was an old event, a dark chapter in the Academy's past. No one knew exactly what happened, but it had left parts of the Sunspire off limits. Whatever had come through, no one wanted it back. "I don't think it's old tech," said Alex. He stared at the screen, frowning. "It feels alive." Everyone looked at him. "You feel it?" asked Lila. Alex nodded slowly. "I don't know how to explain it. It's like I can hear it, not with my ears. In my head." They all exchanged looks. That wasn't normal. "Well," said Dane, trying to lighten the mood. "Guess we're going down there." Down below. Later that day, the team was given official orders. Investigate the anomaly. They were told to go in, scan the area, and report back. Nothing more. No weapons, no heavy gear. Just sensors and comms. But as they prepared, Alex grabbed a few extra tools from his locker, just in case. He didn't trust missions that started with just. The lift they took was old. Very old. It groaned as it dropped lower and lower into the spire. Lights flickered. Dust filled the air. "This thing hasn't moved in decades," said Dane, checking the control panel. "We might get stuck." "No problem," said Alex. "I'll punch us out if we do." Cale raised an eyebrow. "You think you can break through solid alloy?" "Don't know," Alex said with a grin. "But I'd try." Lila rolled her eyes. "Let's focus. We're here to find the source of the signal." As they descended, the lights grew dimmer. The walls changed. Once sleek and clean, now they were rough, cracked, and covered in dust. Level 5, then 6, then 7. The lift stopped at 8. There was a silence. Then a voice came over their comms. "This is command. You are entering restricted zone. Proceed with caution. Do not go beyond level 9 without authorization." "Copy that," said Lila. She looked at the others. "We're going further," she said. "We need answers." No one argued. They stepped off the lift and into the darkness. Strange signs. The hallway stretched ahead like a tunnel. The floor was cold underfoot. The air felt heavier than it should have. They walked in silence, each step echoing softly. Then, Alex stopped. What? Asked Dane. There, Alex said, pointing to the wall. A symbol was carved into the metal. It was jagged, sharp, and unfamiliar. Lila pulled out a scanner. Doesn't match any known language, could be ancient. Or alien, said Cale. Could be both, said Alex. He reached out and touched the symbol. A flash. A brief image entered his mind. Fire, screaming, shadows moving fast, a voice whispering in a language he did not know. He staggered back. You okay? Lila asked. Yeah, he said, shaking his head. Just dizzy. They kept walking. More symbols appeared on the walls, more carvings. Some looked like maps, others looked like warnings. Then they found a door. Big, thick, sealed tight. Above it, in faded letters, "Do not open." Anybody else getting bad vibes? Dane whispered. Yep, said Lila. Same, said Cale. Alex just stared at the door. It called to him, not in words, not in sound, in feeling. Something was behind that door, something old, something powerful. He stepped forward. Wait, said Lila, we need to report this. But before anyone could stop him, Alex placed his hand on the panel beside the door. The lights flickered, a hum filled the air, and the door began to open. The room inside was a large chamber, broken consoles, cracked glass, scorch marks, on the walls, and in the center a single chair sat empty. Above it a broken screen blinked weakly. Lila moved first. She scanned the room. Old equipment. This place hasn't been used in centuries. But someone tried to keep it running, said Dane. Look, these power lines are still warm. Cale walked to the chair. This was a research lab, but why hide it so deep? Lila pointed to a desk. On it, scattered papers and data pads lay in disorder. She picked one up. Her eyes widened. What? Asked Alex. It's a log. She said it from the last researchers who worked here. She tapped the pad, a voice played. Day 43, still no progress. The entity refuses contact, it only watches. It learns. It waits. One of us is gone. Found his body twisted. Like he was folded in half. We sealed the core, but I fear it is too late. It is inside our heads now. The voice cut out. Silence filled the room. Alex looked around. We need to leave. Agreed, said Cale. But as they turned to go, the lights went out. All at once. Darkness. Then a soft glow came from the broken screen. Words formed. One line. You woke me. Alex froze. The others saw the message. What does that mean? Dane whispered. Before anyone could answer, the walls began to pulse, like they were breathing. Back to the surface, they ran, back through the halls, back to the lift. Behind them, the sounds grew louder, like wind or whispers. They got into the lift. Go, shouted Leela. Dane slammed the button. The lift rose. Slowly. Too slowly. Alex looked at the door behind them. It was closing. Then the lift shot upward. They were silent for a long time. Finally, they reached the surface. Command met them at the exit. You went deeper than allowed, said a commander. Explain. Lila spoke first. We found a sealed lab. There was a signal. We believe it may be connected to the void breach. And the message? The commander asked. Alex looked at the others. They hadn't told him about the message. How did you know? He asked. The commander didn't answer. Instead, he said, You are to report everything. Now. They followed him. But as they walked, Alex glanced back, down into the spire. Something was awake, and it remembered him. Rumors spread, words spread fast. Cadets whispered in the halls. The humans opened the forbidden zone. They saw something. They woke it up. Even the teachers seemed uneasy. Alex tried to act normal. He ate lunch with friends. He attended class. But his mind was still down there, in the dark, with the voice. That night he sat alone in his room. He looked at the notes Lila had taken. He read the log again. And he thought about the message. You woke me. He didn't know what it meant, but he knew one thing. It wasn't done with him. The next day, the halls of Sunspire Academy buzzed with talk. Word had spread fast. Something had been found deep in the spire. Something old, something powerful. Alex Carter sat alone at a table in the mess hall, picking at his food. He wasn't hungry. His mind kept going back to that message on the broken screen. You woke me. Across from him, Dane Ellis dropped into a seat, holding a tray of food he didn't seem interested in eating either. You okay? Dane asked. Alex shrugged. Yeah. Dane gave him a look. You're not okay. I just keep thinking about what we saw, Alex admitted. That lab, the symbols, the voice. Lila Martinez joined them, pulling up a chair. Command's still going through our reports. They want more data. They already have everything, said Dane. No, Lila said. They want us to go back. Silence fell between them. Alex frowned. Back where? To level 9 and below, she said. They think the signal might be growing stronger. If it is connected to the void breach, they need answers. Kyle Threx walked up behind them, arms crossed. We're being reassigned, he said. Officially this time. So no sneaking around this time, Dane muttered. No, Kale agreed. This time, we go down knowing someone wants us to. Or, preparing for the descent later that afternoon, the team met in the equipment bay. They were given new gear, upgraded comms, stronger lights, and portable scanners. This was no longer just an investigation. It was now a sanctioned mission. Teacher named Commander Velen stood nearby, watching them. This is serious, he said. If you find anything dangerous, you report it immediately. Do not make contact unless ordered. Yes, sir, Lila said. Velen looked at Alex. That includes you, Carter. Alex gave a small nod but didn't say anything. Once the commander left, Dane let out a breath. I don't like this. We knew we'd have to go back, Lila said. But now we've got eyes on us, Kale pointed out. And something waiting for us, Alex added quietly. No one argued. They loaded up and headed to the lift. Going deeper, the same old lift groaned as it began its slow descent. Once more, level by level, the light above ticked off numbers. 5, 6, 7. As they passed, 8, the air grew colder, the walls darker. Then the lift stopped at 9, the doors opened to silence. Beyond, the hallway stretched forward, lined with broken lights and cracked panels. This is as far as we're allowed to go, Lila said, checking her orders. Alex stepped forward. We all know we're not stopping here. He pulled out a hand scanner and turned it on. The device beeped, showing a faint energy pulse coming from even deeper inside. It's still active, he said. Dane sighed. Fine. But if we get court-martialed, I'm blaming you. Alex grinned. Fair enough. They moved carefully down the corridor, boots echoing softly against the metal floor. Then Kale held up a hand. Everyone froze. From somewhere ahead came a low hum, not mechanical, something else, alive. Strange readings. They reached a junction where 3 paths split off in different directions. Lila scanned the area. Power readings are stronger here. There's something big powering this place. Dane crouched beside a panel and pried it open. Inside, wires glowed faintly. These shouldn't work, he muttered. This whole section has been sealed. For centuries. Maybe it never really shut down, Kale said. Alex touched the wall. A strange warmth pulsed beneath his fingers. He closed his eyes. For a moment he thought he heard something. A whisper. Not words. Feelings. Fear. Hunger. Hope. He opened his eyes. You okay? Lila asked. Yeah, he said. Just weird. They chose the center path and kept moving. Soon they came to another door. It was different from the last. taller, covered in symbols. Some of them glowed faintly. Alex stepped closer. The glow brightened. Lila grabbed his arm. "Don't touch it." But before she could stop him, Alex reached out. The second his fingers brushed the door, the lights flickered. A deep sound echoed through the halls, like a heartbeat. The door opens. The door groaned as it slid open. Inside was a large chamber. Unlike the last room, this one was intact. The walls were smooth, the ceiling high. In the center stood a tall column of dark crystal. It pulsed slowly, like a heart. Lila scanned it. Energy levels are off the charts. Dane walked around the edge of the room. This isn't just power. It's stored power. Like a battery. Kale stood near the entrance, alert. We should leave. But Alex couldn't move. He stared at the crystal. It felt familiar, like it knew him. Then the column glowed brighter. A soft voice filled the room. Not spoken. Felt. "You again." Everyone froze. What the hell was that? Dane whispered. "I heard it too," Lila said. Alex swallowed hard. "It knows me." Kyle stepped forward. "We need to go. Now." But before anyone could move, the lights went out. All at once. Darkness. Then the crystal screamed. Not loud. Deep. Inside. Their heads. Pain flashed through their skulls. Alex fell to his knees. Images filled his mind. Fire. Death. Figures running. And then, nothing. Regrouping. They woke up minutes later. Still in the chamber. Still alive. But something had changed. Alex sat up slowly. His head pounded. Lila groaned. "What happened?" "The crystal," Kyle said. "It attacked us." Dane shook his head. "No, not attacked. Tested." They looked at him. "I think it was seeing who we were," he said. "What we felt." Lila checked her scanner. "Our brain activity spiked during that flash. Whatever it did, it read us." Alex stood. "It recognized me." Kyle looked at him. "Then you need to stay away from it." "I can't," Alex said. "It's not done with me." Lila frowned. "We need to report this." But when she tried to activate her comm, nothing happened. Same with Dane's. Kale's was dead too. "We're cut off," Dane said. Alex looked at the glowing crystal. It pulsed. Once, twice. Then it dimmed. Silence returned, but the message was clear. "Come deeper." The decision back at the entrance, they debated. "We need to go back up," Lila said. "Report what happened." "We can't," Dane said. "Our comms are out, and I don't think the lift will work anymore." Kale nodded. "We're stuck until we fix it." Alex looked at the hallway leading further into the spire. "There's more down there," he said. "Whatever this thing is, it's not finished." Lila sighed. "We can't keep going without telling command." "We don't have a choice," Alex said. "If we go back now, it'll just wait, and maybe next time it won't be so friendly." Kale crossed his arms. "So what do you suggest?" Alex took a breath. "We keep going." Silence. Then, one by one, they nodded, even though none of them wanted to, because they all knew something was waiting, something old, something awake, and it wanted them to come deeper. The deeper they went, the colder it got. The halls of the Sunspire had been silent before, but now they felt wrong. Like something was watching, not with eyes, but with thought. Alex Carter led the way, his boots echoing softly against the metal. Floor behind him came Lila Martinez, scanning every wall and corner with her handheld device. Dane Ellis followed, muttering to himself as he checked their broken comms. Kale Threx brought up the rear. Always alert, always ready. They were stuck down here. No lift, no signal, no help. And whatever was awake in this place didn't want them to leave. The broken lab. They passed through a heavy door marked only by a faded number. 12. Inside was another lab, but unlike the last one, this one wasn't just abandoned. It was destroyed. Consoles were smashed. Glass was shattered. Wires hung from the ceiling like dead vines. Lila stepped forward slowly, shining her light across the room. "This place was attacked," she said. "Not attacked," Dane corrected. "Ripped apart." Kyle crouched beside a large scorch mark on the floor. "This damage isn't old, it's fresh." Alex walked past them, drawn to a long table covered in scattered papers and broken data pads. He picked one up. It flickered weakly, then played a short audio log. Day 67. Containment failing. The core is growing unstable. We tried to shut it down, but it won't stop learning. The voice cut out. Then another line appeared on the screen. "You're not the first." Alex dropped the pad like it burned him. Lila looked over. "What did you see?" It said, "You're not the first," he muttered. Dane frowned. "That doesn't make sense. We're the only ones who've come this far." Kyle stood. "Maybe not." He pointed to the wall. There, carved into the metal, was a message written in shaky letters. "We tried to stop it." Below it, more. "Frightened quantum, it's still here." The memory chamber. They moved on deeper into the spire. The hallway narrowed. The walls pulsed faintly like veins under skin. Then they found a new room. This one was different. It was round. In the center stood a raised platform. Around it, tall glass tubes lined the walls. Empty now, but once used for something. Alex stepped closer. The moment he did, the lights above flickered on. Soft blue light filled the chamber. And then, images, not on screens. In the air, like ghosts. They saw people. Scientists. Wearing old academy uniforms. Working. Talking. Then screaming. One by one, the images changed. A man slammed his hands on a console. A woman ran toward a door that wouldn't open. Another figure stood still, staring straight at Alex. Then the image blinked and stared at him again. Alex took a step back. "You seeing this?" he asked. Everyone else nodded. "I think this room records memories," Lila said, scanning the area. "Or replays them." "But how?" Dane asked. Kale kept his distance. "Some species use memory storage. They imprint thoughts into objects. Maybe this place does the same." Alex looked around. The figures on the walls were moving faster now. Panic, chaos. Then, fire. Then darkness. The lights dimmed. The room went quiet. Alex swallowed hard. "That wasn't a recording," he whispered. "That was real." The voice returns. They left the memory chamber behind. Further down, the hallway opened into a massive hall. At its center was a broken statue, tall, humanoid, with strange, twisted limbs. Lila scanned it. "This design, it's not human." "No," Kyle agreed. "But I've seen symbols like these before." He pointed to markings on the base of the statue. They belonged to an ancient race. Long gone. Some say they vanished after trying to control something. They shouldn't have. Alex touched the statue. A flash. A voice. "You feel it too, don't you?" He gasped and pulled his hand away. "What?" Lila asked. "The voice," he said. "It's not just in my head anymore. It's talking to me." Dane shook his head. "You sure it's not just messing with us?" "I don't know," Alex admitted. "But it knows I'm different." Kale looked around. "We need to move. This place is too dangerous." But Alex couldn't look away from the statue. Something about it felt familiar, like it had been waiting. For him. The warning. They reached a sealed door at the end of the hall. It was locked tight. Dane examined the panel. "This thing hasn't worked in years." "We can't go back," Lila said. "We need to get through." Alex stepped forward. The second he did, the door hummed. Symbols lit up along its frame. Then a message appeared. "Only the awakened may pass." Everyone looked at Alex. He frowned. I don't like the sound of that. Kyle crossed his arms. Then maybe you shouldn't be the one opening it. Alex ignored him and placed his hand on the panel. The door groaned. Then it slid open. Beyond was a dark tunnel, cold, silent, waiting. Lila turned to Alex. How did you do that? I don't know, he said, but I think it's expecting me. They entered the tunnel, one by one. None of them wanted to go, but none of them could turn back. The truth beneath. The tunnel led to a final chamber, bigger than any before. At its center was a massive object, half buried in the floor, glowing, moving, not alive, but close. Lila scanned it, her face paled. This isn't just power, she said. It's intelligence. Dane stared. What kind of intelligence? She looked at Alex. The kind that learns. Alex stepped closer. The object pulsed, once, twice. Then it spoke, again, not in words, in thought. You are like the others. Alex swallowed. Who? He asked aloud. The first ones. Lila looked at him. Ask it what it means. Alex closed his eyes. He focused. Who were the first ones? He asked inside his mind. The answer came fast. Those who built the spire. Dane's eyes widened. Wait, you mean... They tried to contain me. The voice grew stronger. But they failed. Kyle drew his weapon. We need to leave, now. Not and you cannot run. The chamber shook. Lights flickered. The object rose slightly from the ground. Its glow spread, filling the room. And then, it showed them a vision of the past, of the first humans, of the war, of the seal, and of the truth. You are not the first, but you may be the last. The chamber pulsed with light. The object in the center, half buried and glowing, rose slowly from the floor. It was not a machine, not exactly. It had parts that looked like metal, but also parts that moved like flesh. Wires twisted like veins. Lights flickered like eyes waking for the first time in centuries. Alex Carter stood closest to it. He felt something in his head, not pain, but pressure, like someone was trying to speak without using words. Lila Martinez raised her scanner. Energy levels are spiking. Dane Ellis backed up. That thing's waking up. Cale Threx kept his weapon raised. Then we need to shut it down. You cannot stop what has already begun. The voice came again, not spoken, but felt. It filled their minds like a cold wind. Alex staggered back. His breath came fast. He could feel it now, something reaching into him, touching his thoughts. I think it's inside my head, he whispered. Lila stepped closer. What do you mean? It's looking at me, Alex said, like I'm a puzzle it wants to solve. You are different. Like the others, but not the same. Kyle tightened his grip on his gun. We need to leave. Now. You opened the door. You woke me. Now, you must understand. The lights in the chamber grew brighter, and then the vision hit. A memory. Not their own, it wasn't a flash this time. It was a flood. Images poured into their minds. They saw the Sunspire as it once was, tall, bright, full of life. Scientists moved through halls, working on something big. They wore old uniforms unlike the ones worn today. A human man stood at the center of it all. He looked directly at them. His name was Dr. Elias Grant. This is what became. The images changed. Fire, smoke, screaming. Figures running through broken halls. The same glowing object, now awake, moved through the station like a storm. People tried to fight it. Some fired weapons. Others used machines. But nothing worked. One by one, they fell. The last image showed a group of survivors. They stood before a massive door, Behind them, the core pulsed with dark energy. Dr. Grant turned to the camera. We tried to seal it away. We failed. But maybe, someday, someone will finish what we started. The vision ended. The chamber returned to normal. Silence. Then Dane spoke. What the hell was that? Lila checked her scanner. That wasn't just a memory. That was a message. Kyle still held his weapon tight. Then what does it want from us? Alex didn't answer right away. He stared at the core. It stared back, with thought instead of eyes. You are not afraid. That makes you dangerous. Alex swallowed hard. I don't know if I'm not afraid, he said aloud. I just don't run from things I don't understand. And then you are ready to learn. Arguments in the dark, they pulled back from the core, away from its reach, but none of them wanted to be too far. We should destroy it, Kale said. Now. Lila shook her head. We don't even know what it is yet. That doesn't matter, Kale snapped. It's dangerous, we've seen what it can do. Dane paced. I agree with Kale. This thing wiped out an entire research team. If it gets loose again, it could take out the whole academy. Lila crossed her arms. And what if it's not evil? What if it's just trapped? Trapped, Dane asked. It looked pretty free to me. Lila pointed at the core. It said we're not the first. It called us the Awakened. Maybe it sees us differently. Alex finally spoke. It does. Everyone looked at him. He walked forward, closer to the core. I think it's been waiting. For what? Kale asked. For someone who isn't afraid. Kale narrowed his eyes. You sound like you trust it. I don't, Alex said, but I don't think it wants to hurt us either. You are correct. The voice echoed again. Fear is what feeds the old ones. You do not fear me. Therefore, I do not feed. Lila's eyes widened. Wait, you mean it only attacks when people are scared? Yes, Ryu. Fear is power. Power fuels me. Without fear, I sleep. Dane rubbed his face. So basically, it's like a psychic vampire that runs on terror. Alex nodded slowly. That's about right. Kale lowered his weapon slightly. Then why did it attack the others? They feared me. They tried to kill me. So I killed them first. Silence fell. Then Lila asked, why show us this? Why now? Because you are different. You have no fear, or you hide it well. Alex met the core's gaze. I don't know if I'm brave, he said. Maybe I'm just stupid. The core pulsed. Perhaps both. The choice. They gathered near the edge of the chamber, trying to decide what to do. Destroy it, contain it, or let it stay. There's no way Command will let us leave this thing alive, Dane said. They'll send in a strike team, Lila agreed. And if that happens, this place could go up in fire again. Kale looked between them. So what are you saying? Lila looked at Alex. What if we made a deal? A deal? Dane repeated. With a mind-reading space ghost? Yes, she said. What if we promise to come back, to study it, learn from it instead of destroying it? Kyle shook his head. That's insane. Maybe, Lila said. But it's better than another massacre. Alex stepped forward. He looked at the core. I'll make the deal, he said. Then you must prove yourself. Show me your strength. Show me your will. Alex closed his eyes. He focused, not on fear, on control, on calm. On purpose, the core pulsed once, twice. Then it reached into his mind. No visions, no screams, just silence. Deep and endless. Then, you are strong. You may return. The lights dimmed, the air grew still, the core settled, and then the chamber went quiet. The silence didn't last. It never did. As soon as the core settled, a deep rumble shook the chamber, not from inside, from above. Alex Carter looked up. The walls groaned. Dust fell from the ceiling. Lila Martinez checked her scanner. Something's happening on the upper levels. Cale Threx frowned. What kind of something? Lila's eyes widened. Seismic activity, structural damage. It's spreading fast. Dane Ellis cursed under his breath. We must have triggered something when the core woke up. You are correct. The voice returned, calm, but not unkind. The seal is broken. What was hidden now moves. Alex turned back to the others. We need to get topside. Now. But before they could move, the lights flickered again. And this time, they didn't come back on. Darkness swallowed them. Then, a scream echoed through the tunnels, not from the core, from outside, from the halls. Someone was in trouble. The evacuation begins. Back at Sunspire Academy's upper levels, chaos had taken hold. Alarms blared across the station. Red lights flashed. Students ran through the halls, shouting. Teachers tried to keep order, but panic spread like fire. Commander Felon stood in the main control room, watching the reports roll in. Structural damage confirmed, one officer said. Origin, lower Spire sectors. Velen clenched his jaw. Get me a status on the cadet team. Another officer tapped at a console. No signal. They're still down there. Velen turned to a group of security officers nearby. Send a team down. Retrieve them and contain the threat. One of the officers hesitated. Sir, we don't know what we're dealing with. I don't care what it is, Velen snapped. Contain it or destroy it. The officers saluted and moved out, but even as they left, another report came in. More damage detected, level 7 and below. Damn it, Velen muttered. He looked at the screen showing the Academy's layout. Right at the center, where the Sunspire met its deepest roots, a red mark pulsed, growing, spreading, like a wound. Trapped in the dark back in the lower chambers, Alex and the others struggled to move through the dark. Dane Ellis led the way with a small light on his wrist. This isn't good. If the structure keeps failing, we might be buried alive. Lila Martinez scanned the walls. There's more power coming from the core. Something's feeding it. Kyle Threx kept his weapon ready. Then we need to shut it down before the whole place falls apart. Alex shook his head. No, we can't just blow it up. That'll make things worse. You don't know that, Kyle argued. I do, Alex said. I felt it. It's not attacking us because we're not afraid. But if we try to kill it, now it will fight back. Lila looked between them. So what do we do? Before Alex could answer, another tremor hit. This one stronger. The floor cracked beneath them. A piece gave way. Dane barely jumped back in time. We're running out of time, he said. If we don't move now, we won't move at all. Alex took a breath. Fine, he said. Let's go. They started moving again, through the shaking halls, toward the lift shaft, toward the surface. The security team arrives. The first wave of security reached the lower levels within minutes. Armed and armored, they moved carefully through the damaged halls. Their leader, Lieutenant Rourke, held up a hand, slow and steady. No sudden moves. His team nodded. They passed through the same corridors Alex and the others had walked only moments ago. But something was wrong. The air felt heavier, the shadows deeper. Then one of the soldiers stopped. Sir, he whispered. Do you hear that? Rourke listened. At first, nothing. Then, a whisper, not words. Thoughts, fear, pain, loss. One by one, the soldiers clutched their heads. Grunts, gasps, cries. Rourke looked around. Everyone was falling, except him. He gritted his teeth, focused, didn't Let the fear in. The whispers grew louder. Then, a shadow moved. Fast. Too fast. And then, silence. Only Rourke remained, standing alone, barely holding on to his mind. He activated his comm. "This is Rourke," he said, voice shaky. "Requesting immediate evac. The lower levels are compromised." Static, then a voice answered, not from command, from something else. They were weak. They feared. So I fed. Rourke backed away. "I don't fear you," he said. "Then prove it." The darkness moved toward him. The race to the surface back in the lower chambers, Alex and the others finally reached the lift shaft. The old elevator was still there, but barely. Its cables groaned under pressure. Dane looked at it and groaned. "You've got to be kidding me." Lila scanned the controls. "It's still functional, barely." Kyle stepped forward. "We don't have time to wait for help. We go up now." Alex hesitated. He looked back the way they came. Something was still down here watching, waiting, but not for them, for someone else. He turned to the others. "We go up," he said. "Now." They climbed into the lift. Lila hit the button. The lift shuddered, then slowly began to rise. A message from below as they ascended. Alex stared at the dark hole behind them. He felt it. The core wasn't angry. It was curious. "You will return. When the time comes, we will speak again." Alex closed his eyes. He knew it was true. They weren't done yet. None of them were. The lift groaned as it rose. Alex Carter, Lila Martinez, Dane Ellis, and Cale Threx stood in silence, watching the dark shaft below them shrink away. No one spoke. They were all thinking the same thing. They had gone deeper than anyone in centuries, and something was still down there, watching, waiting. As the lift reached the upper levels, the doors creaked open with a hiss. Commander Velen stood on the other side, flanked by 2 security officers. "Report," he said, voice sharp. Lila stepped forward first. "We found the source of the anomaly. It's not just old tech, it's alive." Velen frowned. "Explain." Dane rubbed his face. "It's some kind of core, or consciousness. We don't know exactly what it is, but it's been sealed for over 200 years. Cale crossed his arms. "And now it's awake." Velen studied each of them. Then he looked at Alex. "And you?" Alex met his gaze. "I think it wanted to be found." Silence followed. Then, Velen turned to the guards. "Take them to debriefing. I want full reports, every detail." They were led away without protest. But Alex didn't look back, not until the lift doors closed behind him. The debriefing, the command center, the 4 cadets sat across from Commander Velen and a group of senior staff. Hollow screens displayed, their mission logs, sensor data, and video feeds from the lower chambers. The room was cold, formal, unforgiving. Velen leaned forward. "You disobeyed direct orders. You went beyond level 9. You opened a sealed chamber that has remained untouched since the void breach. And now, you claim an ancient intelligence has returned." Alex didn't flinch. "Yes." Velen sighed. "Do you understand what you've done?" "We didn't wake it up," Lila said. "It was already stirring. We only made contact." Dane added, "It doesn't attack unless it feels fear. That's how it survives." Cale finally spoke. "If we had destroyed it, the whole Spire might have collapsed, possibly taking the entire academy with it." Velen stared at them for a long time. Then he turned to the others in the room. "You all heard the reports," he said. "What do we do now?" One officer spoke up. "We send in a strike team. Destroy the core before it becomes a threat." Another shook her head. "Or, we contain it, study it, learn from it." A third officer crossed his arms. "We can't risk another breach. If this thing gets loose again, We may not survive. Velen looked at Alex again. You seem to have a connection with it, he said. Can you control it? Alex thought about it. No, he said honestly, but I think it's willing to listen. There was another long pause. Then Velen stood. We'll make a decision soon, he said. Until then, you're confined to quarters. No unauthorized movement. Understood? They nodded. As they were escorted out, Alex glanced back. He knew what would come next. Orders would be given, plans would be made, and someone would decide whether the Corps lived or died. A secret meeting, later that night. Alex lay on his bunk staring at the ceiling. He couldn't sleep. Too much was running through his mind. Then a soft knock came at the door. He got up and opened it. Lila stood outside. She walked in and closed the door behind her. We need to talk, she said. Alex sat up. About what? About what happens tomorrow, she said. Command will make their choice. If they go down there with weapons, things could get bad fast. Alex nodded. I know. They'll send in a team, she continued. Maybe even use explosives. They won't work, Alex said. That thing isn't like anything we've ever seen. It's not a machine, it's not a monster. It's something else. Lila sat beside him. Then what do we do? Alex looked at her. I think we should go back, he said. She raised an eyebrow. Back down there? Yes, he said. Before anyone else does, before they try to destroy it. Lila hesitated. You really think it'll listen to us? I don't know, he admitted. But I think it'll give us a chance. She sighed. You're crazy. He smiled. Maybe. She looked at him for a moment longer. Then she stood. If we're doing this, we need help, Alex nodded. I was hoping you'd say that. Breaking in, under the cover of darkness, the 4 cadets slipped past the Academy's security checkpoints. They moved quickly and quietly, avoiding patrols and cameras. At the lift shaft, Dane worked the controls while Lila kept watch. Kale stood near the edge, scanning the shadows. Alex waited by the doors. Finally, the lift groaned to life. It'll take us most of the way, Dane said. After that, we walk. No one argued. They climbed in. The lift dropped slowly into the dark, down, deeper, back to where it all began. The core. Waits when they reached the bottom. The chamber was silent. The core still pulsed gently in the center. It didn't react. Right away, just watched, waited. Then, you have returned. Before the others. Alex stepped forward. We came alone, he said aloud. We didn't bring weapons. We didn't bring orders. Dar, you are wise. Or foolish. Alex smiled slightly. Maybe both. He turned to the others. We need to stop command from destroying you, he said to the core. But we don't know if we can. Kritat, then offer me something better. A reason to remain. Lila stepped forward. We can study you, learn from you, help others understand what you are. Knowledge is power. Power can be dangerous. Dane folded his arms. So is ignorance. The core pulsed. Thought, then, you speak truth. Perhaps there is more to learn. Alex took a breath. Then let us be the ones who learn it. Was agreed. The lights around the chamber dimmed, then brightened. The core settled. It had made its choice. Back to the surface, they left the chamber behind. This time, not as intruders, not as threats, but as something new, representatives of understanding of peace. They reached the surface just before dawn. The academy was quiet. But not for long. Command would notice they were gone and they would ask questions. But Alex wasn't afraid, because he knew one thing. The core had chosen to wait. to trust, and that meant something. The final decision hours later, in the command center, Commander, Velen sat with his senior officers. A report had come in. The cadets had returned alone. No damage, no attacks, and the core. Still active, still waiting. Velen read the last line of the report. They made contact. They offered peace. He looked up. "What do we do?" one officer asked. Velen stood. "We wait," he said, "and we watch." There was surprise in the room. "But sir, this isn't over," Velen said. "But neither is it a war." He looked out the window, toward the rising sun, and somewhere deep below, in the heart of the spire, the core pulsed once, then went still. For now. Post-credits scene. Alex stood alone on the observation deck. Stars stretched out before him. Silent. Endless. He felt small, but not helpless. Behind him, the station hummed with life. Students walked. Teachers taught. Scientists studied. Everything normal, except for one thing. He looked down at his hand. It flickered. Just for a second, like light passing through glass. Then it was gone. He smiled. Softly. Quietly. Then he whispered to the stars. "You're not the only one watching, are you?"